Hey fans and subscribers, this is your host Joe on the Gaming for Insight channel. And in this video, I will be showing you settings that you can tune to extend battery life in playing Quake 2 on the AYANEO 2S handheld that I have in front of me. I'm going to be going through two areas. The first area is the in-game settings, and the second area is the AYASpace 2 beta and a specific profile I have created for playing Quake 2. So let's start with the in-game settings. I'm going to go to the hamburger button. I'm going to press that down. I'm going to go to Options. I'm going to go to Display. And I'm going to open my video settings. And I am in the resolution of 1920 by 1200. And even though I'm using 1200p and not 800p, I'm finding that in 800p I'm not able to maximize the screen. So that's why I'm going with the 1200p in this case. I am using vertical sync as we are working with a 60 hertz display, but I am going to be targeting a lower frame rate than 60 frames. All right, so let's go back. We have reviewed the in-game settings. Let's go into the AYANEO profile that I have created. I'm going to hit my AYANEO button on the side, and I am going to hit the pencil on top of the hamburger here. We are in the performance section of the settings. I'm going to go to my Quake 2 profile that I have selected here. Let's start with the FPS limit. The FPS is going to target 35 frames. Let's transition next to our TDP limit, which is going to be set at 8. This is a low TDP for a game, and this is not to be expected with an older game like this, though the 8 TDP works very well, and you will see in the gameplay that there is a transition between 7 and 8 during that gameplay. Our power policy is going to be saving, so we can extend battery life further. Our fan configuration is going to be set at hardware control, so we're going to be using what is preset in the BIOS for the fan curve. Our CPU lock and GPU lock are next. Let's start with our CPU lock. We have it at 1310 megahertz, and this is below the base clock of the Ryzen 7 7840U APU. The base clock for it is 3.3 gigahertz. So we are at 1310 megahertz here. And our GPU lock is going to be at 800 megahertz. This is below the base clock, which is going to be 1.2 or 1.5 gigahertz for the 780M. So these two are not surprising since this is an older game. And you are going to see that the CPU component of the APU is going to be 1308, 1310, so it stays around that area there. And our CPU turbo is going to be disabled for this. Okay, so now we can look at some gameplay here. All right, and that is the conclusion of this video. So just to recap, we saw our charge rate stay at around negative 12 watt, and we saw that our CPU frequency stayed at 1308, 1310, and of course we are drawing 8 watt as the TDP limit, and our GPU frequency stayed at around 800 megahertz as well, which is what we were targeting all for these settings. I hope this video is helpful, and let me know in the comments what settings you are using to play the Quake 2 Remaster on the AYANEO 2S. And with that, let me leave you now with the words of Commander Shepard. I should go.